I got a little test for you today. It's going to be a quick one, so get ready. I want you to think of 3 wins that you had this week, and let's talk about it. So were you able to think of 3 wins that you had this week? If you were, congratulations. It's a good sign that you are thinking about and celebrating the wins in your life. But also some of you may have had a problem thinking about it. Some of you may have been like, did I have any wins? I think about it. You know, the idea for this video came to me the other day. I've been working with a high performance coach now for over 40 weeks. And every single week, one of the first things he asks in our sessions is, tell me about your wins this week. I've been doing this for 40 weeks now. I know that he's going to ask me this question. And so many times I struggle with the question. Often the night before my session with the coach, I'm thinking about, oh yeah, I forgot about the wins. And I have to try to think back through the week and think about what am I going to tell him? Because he's going to ask the question every single time. And what I realized is I still struggle with recognizing my wins on a regular basis. And I really think that there's a lot of people out there who are not celebrating the wins of life as often as they should. We need to become more aware of the wins of life, even if they're small ones. But um, so many people are not doing that. So let's talk about why it's important to celebrate those wins. Number one, celebrating all the wins of life, being aware of the little wins is going to improve your mental health. One of the ways that you can just begin to enjoy life more right now, even before anything else in your life changes, is just being able to recognize and celebrate those small wins. If you'll just begin to notice the wins of life, you'll automatically improve your mental health. You'll automatically raise up your joy. You know, and some people will say, "Well, I don't have anything to be thankful for. I don't have any wins to celebrate." Well, if you finished a project, it's a win. If you responded in a good way in a meeting, that's a win. If you were able to give your boss an answer he was looking for, that's a win. And if we become more aware of the wins that we have, it's going to increase our mental health. It's going to begin to help our ability to even see more wins and to accomplish more things. The second thing that regularly acknowledging your wins is going to do is it's going to begin to boost your confidence. You know, the more you are aware of the little wins, the more you're going to be confident that you can have more wins in the future. You know, if you look back and you think in your life you've only ever done one good thing, well, then when you look forward, you don't have a high level of confidence that you're going to do a good thing in the next week or so. But if you look back and you acknowledge, hey, I had a win here, I had a win here, I had 5 wins today, I had 7 wins this day. Well, then that's going to begin to boost your confidence. If I can have all these wins this last week, well, I can have a whole bunch of wins the next week. And you'll begin to have more confidence in the things that you do because you can see a pattern of winning. Number 3, what that pattern of winning does is it begins to change your identity. You know, if you continually acknowledge your wins, if you say, well, for last month, I had all these wins. This month I had this many wins. I believe I can have more wins in the future. Well, eventually you're going to start seeing yourself as a winner, right? Your identity will change. You know, so many people, they may not consciously think I'm a loser. Now, there's a lot of people who do think that way. But if you constantly think I'm just a loser, I'm no good in life, but you start acknowledging win after win after win, well, then your identity is going to change. You're going to go from thinking I'm a loser to thinking I'm a winner. You know, if you can acknowledge I had 100 wins last week. Now, they might have been small wins, but they were wins. Well, how can you be a loser and have 100 wins? So acknowledging your small wins on a regular basis, not just boosts your confidence, but it begins to change your identity. Hey, I'm a winner. Now, what that will do after you've begin to see that pattern after your confidence was boosted and you now are changing your identity to that of a winner. Well, what that does is that produces momentum. When you start having momentum that I'm a winner, when you have looked and allowed the things of your past to frame your thinking now, I have had win after win after win after win, and you start thinking I'm a winner, well, that's going to move forward and it's going to start changing that. When you begin to identify as a winner, you begin to believe you are a winner in life, you're going to see more wins. The other thing that it does is when you begin to believe you're a winner and you're creating that massive momentum for winning, you're also going to be protecting yourself from burnout. You know, one of the reasons people burn out in their jobs, in their careers, is because they just feel like they're doing the same thing over and over and over, and they're never making progress and they're never getting anywhere. And so if you're constantly looking at the wins and you're changing your identity and you're building that momentum, well, you're far less likely to get burnt out in life and in career. But if all you do is you look at your job as some monotonous thing that I'm just doing the same thing over and over, whether it's I'm sending the same emails over and over, I'm sitting in the same meetings over and over. Maybe you don't work in a corporate position, maybe you work at as a cashier and you picture your job as just scanning one thing after another, one thing after another, one thing after another. And you do that enough, and if that's how you look at your job, well, you're going to get burnt out pretty quick. But if you are looking for ways to win all the time and you're thinking you're a winner, you're building that momentum, you're not just, all right, next item, next item, next item. No, you're excited, you're happy. Why? Because you're looking for your next win. You're expecting another win. Now, no matter what you're called to do, no matter where you're working right now, maybe what you're doing right now is not what you're called to do. Well, doing this thing well with a winning attitude is what's going to cause you to win that next promotion, win that next increase. I have gone from position to position. The position I'm in now at my daily job, uh, I could have never imagined myself being there. But in every position I had, I expected to win. I expected to do well. I looked for those things. I did it with a spirit of excellence. And I did it with the help of the Holy Spirit, asking Him to help me be a winner. And I've seen promotion after promotion after promotion because I approached my job with a winning attitude. You know, there's so much pressure in life, particularly where we are right now with the economy. There's a lot of people hurting. There's a lot of people hurting financially. There's a lot of stress on people. It's very easy to begin to look at your life and your job, your career, whatever, in a negative way. And so it's now more important than ever to begin to just look for and celebrate those small wins. Begin to build that confidence. Begin to change your identity. You're a winner. This is part of living the more intentional life. I'm intentionally looking for the wins. I'm intentionally going to celebrate every single win so that I can boost my confidence, so I can change that identity. That's all about becoming the best possible version of yourself. I don't know if that helped you today, but I'm encouraging you. Look at your wins. Let them become the thing that you're looking for. Yes, you're going to have setbacks. Yes, you're going to have problems, and you have to deal with those along the way. But don't focus on the problems. Don't focus on all the bad things that happen. Focus on your wins, win after win after win. And it's going to absolutely change your life before anything else changes. And then when you actually have that winning attitude, your life will change. You'll get the promotions, you'll get the increases. People want to work with winners, and the more you have that winning attitude, your life is going to expand. But even before any of that happens, your life's going to get better simply because you're learning how to acknowledge and celebrate your wins. It's going to do massive things for you. I encourage you to do it. If you want to learn more about living this intentional life, including being intentional in recognizing and celebrating your wins, you can check out this playlist right here. But until I see you again, go out and live that more intentional life.